my God, these pigeons drive me nuts. They keep perching themselves on my windowsill, and I don't like that. Anyways, hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about long versus short hair. Yeah, specifically me having longer versus shorter hair, because if you guys haven't already noticed, I recently cut my hair. Cut it 8th of June, which is maybe a couple weeks ago. I don't know exactly, but I cut it because I was having two different textures going on in my hair. The bottom half of my hair was pin straight and the top half was kind of wavy, curly, just a different texture. I cut it to make it all one texture again, so it's a lot easier to manage and deal with having all one type of hair. The difference in texture came from me regularly applying henna. I used to apply henna monthly for like a couple of years, and so repeated henna applications made my hair straighter and straighter because it loosened my curl pattern. And ever since I moved, I stopped applying henna, and even a couple months prior to moving, because I didn't want to do henna in a rental bathroom, obviously, because it stains. So my natural hair texture was growing back out again, and then the bottom half of my hair had henna. And I was originally going to wait until my natural hair had grown out a bit longer, but it got to a point where I was getting impatient, where I was like, I can't stand this like two textured thing anymore, and I just want it cut. So Monday, June 8th was a public holiday, so I just found the nearest hair salon to where I live that was open, and I just went and got a cut. And this isn't the first time that I've done a big chop. The last time I did a big chop like this was end of 2021, and I did that more because I wanted to, whereas this one I did more because I felt like I had to. But both those times when I've had these major chops, hairdressers have always been like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And I've always been like, yeah, I'm sure. Like, why else would I come to you and tell you to cut all my hair off unless I wasn't sure, right? But I just find it so funny because this time around I sat in her chair and I said, if you see any straight bits of hair, chop it off. And she's like, that's pretty short. I said, chop it off. So I got this like short layered bob thing. I don't know. It's definitely interesting to deal with. I would say it's a different kind of difficult to deal with, because when you have two different textures going on, I had to constantly do something. Like, I couldn't just leave it natural because that would look messier. So I would either have to straighten my top half or do heatless curls or something constantly to make my hair look presentable. Whereas now it's like I'm back on the curl creams and the gels and the diffusers, which feels kind of nostalgic because this is what I used to do years ago before I started applying henna, and I kind of missed it. So I'm really excited to have like my wavy curly hair back, so that's fun. But it made me realize that I'm really struggling to find myself attractive when I have shorter hair. And I'm not saying that I need to feel attractive because I need everybody to be attracted to me, no, but sometimes when I look in the mirror, I have a harder time finding myself pretty, and I have a harder time thinking, oh, other people also think I'm pretty, which is so weird. And for someone who bases a lot of their opinion on what other people think of them, it's been kind of difficult, because I've been to work after cutting my hair, obviously, and it was quite a big shock to like everybody that I work with, because I told nobody. I just sort of cut it on a whim and just showed up to work the next day pretending like nothing happened. And so a lot of people were like, oh my God, you cut your hair. And I found myself having the same conversation with like every single person. You cut your hair? Yeah, I did. It looks so cute. Thank you. Why'd you cut it? Henna, blah, blah, blah. Textures, yeah. Oh, it looks so cute. Thank you. You should keep it like that. It looks really nice. And I was like, thank you. But I'm not going to, but thank you. Times 1,000, right? And it got me thinking that, gee, I tie a lot of my beauty to my hair because I value my hair a lot. I think my hair is a good quality of mine, in the sense that I look after it. When I used to apply henna, it looked beautiful, it was straight, frizz-free, and it was beautiful. Before I applied henna, my hair was always nicely curled or wavy, whatever you want to call it. And it was always defined, and it just looked really nice as well. And personally, I've always felt more feminine with longer hair. With shorter hair, even though I've heard the opposite from a couple of people, I've heard people say it makes you look more feminine now that you have shorter hair. Oh my god, they're taking too long. I just have to talk over it. Because short hair makes me feel more like a tomboy. Does that sound weird? It makes me feel a little bit kiddish, and it makes me feel like I look a bit more like a boy. Regardless of if it's true or not, that's just how I feel. Yeah? So I feel like if I have shorter hair, I need to compensate by keeping it curled, or by dressing extra feminine, or by doing more makeup, or making sure I put on makeup so then I look a little bit girly still. It's just so difficult. And I remembered as soon as I cut it, my mum was one of the first people who was like, you should cut it if you want to. She's always been an advocate for everything I want to do. If I say, oh, I want to do this, she's like, do it. Every time I've told her in the past I want to cut my hair, she's been like, do it. And you know what? I get it. It's always grown back. But every other time in the past I've cut my hair, it's because I've wanted to. It's because I've gotten sick of my long hair and I wanted a change. This is the first time in my life where I didn't want to cut my hair, and I didn't cut it because I wanted a change. I did it because I needed my hair to be one texture, because I hated the way it looked, and it was so, thank God. Oh, it's back on again. Less of a want, more of a necessity point of view. So I think my headspace with this haircut is a lot different than what it was in prior haircuts. I've seen a couple of people discussing this online, mostly on TikTok, where they discuss how women compliment other women. And this point came up a few times. They're more likely to compliment other women or girls who they deem as not being competition. Usually, if these girls have something that they deem is not desirable, other girls are more likely to compliment them. Case in point, short hair, or maybe if a girl is overweight, they're more likely to compliment people like that because they feel less competition and they feel less intimidated by that sort of stuff. Got me thinking, is that why I've been getting more compliments? Because at work, I've been receiving a lot of compliments. I've also received a lot of, you should keep it this way, it looks good, you should always just keep your hair short. And I'm like, girl, are you trying to sabotage me? Because I'm not going to keep it this length. I'm going to wait for it to grow out. And you best believe I'm growing it back out again. I'm growing it back out again. So for those of you who like this length of hair, take a mental picture, because it's not going to be this length ever again. It's too short. I'm over it. Got it 2 weeks ago and I'm already fucking over my hair. But I'm over it. So for those of you who love this hair and who think this hair suits me, take a picture. Mentally, physically, take a picture, because this is it. This is it. It's not getting shorter. It's not staying this length. It's only getting longer. So get ready. And it's going to be longer and better because I'm going to learn how to manage my natural hair texture. So it's only upwards and onwards and upwards from here. I do kind of feel like a pixie or like a fairy, which is nice. You know, I feel one of the girls at work said I looked a little bit like Alice Cullen, like my hair reminded her of Alice, which I'll take as a massive compliment. Alice was like my favorite character in the Twilight movies, so I'll take it. I just find myself feeling less attractive, and I've noticed I get a lot more compliments from other women. So it makes me think, oh, is it because I now have something that they deem unattractive, which makes them more comfortable to compliment me? It's interesting to think about, especially as someone who made a big chop. Like, I feel like the difference in how people perceive you is immense. And like I said, my mum loves this hair on me. She has always been the type to support all of my crazy decisions. So when I said I wanted to cut this, and she saw me, because I was back in Sydney last weekend, just, you know, to catch up with them again. I was a little bit homesick. But that was the first time she saw me with short hair. And I remember she said, "Oh, you look fresher. Like, you always look fresh." And I was like, huh? Okay, like, thank you. And she said, "You look cuter," and everything else. And it just made me think, well, too bad, so sad, because I'm growing my hair back out. And once it's grown back out, I'm gonna look prettier. I'm gonna look nicer. Well, I'm gonna feel prettier and nicer. I guess I should add that, because everybody has the right to their own opinions, and you can like this hair more on me, but I personally don't like this hair much on me, so I'm just waiting for it to grow back out again. Wasn't supposed to be like a big video where I break down why I'm feeling what I'm feeling and why does society make us feel this way. No, it was kind of just a sit down video where I just sit and talk to you about my feelings, because sometimes I just want to make videos which are no pressure, where I don't have to plan anything, where I don't have to deep dive into anything or go into, why is that the way it is? So I just thought, well, I've cut my hair. I feel different with it. And I feel like sometimes I get more compliments, and maybe that's why I've been getting more compliments. I don't know. Anyways, that's it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And let me know in the comments down below, are you a short hair kind of girl, or are you a long hair kind of girl? And what hair do you prefer on me, shorter or longer? Don't know. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in my next one. Bye.